Greetings and welcome back. Welcome back to my channel for the next video in the series, The Psychology of Manipulation. It is so good to be back with you all once again. So again, we're going to delve into the next topic in the psychology of manipulation, and that is the white knight. So we've gone over manipulation, gaslighting, love bombing, and guilt trip, and triangulation. Those are all on my video archive if you are interested in those. And also, if you are new, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. Please make sure, if you would be so kind, to drop a like. And if you enjoy this series or any of the videos within this series, consider subscribing and please comment. I enjoy reading all of your comments. And for those who contact me outside of YouTube, I appreciate the engagement. Again, my disclaimer: this video series is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional advice, for I am not a member of the medical profession. And if you find yourselves in any situation that may be dangerous, please make sure, I would strongly encourage that safety for you and your loved ones always be first. So without further delay, let's get into our next topic. And that next topic is the white knight. Many of you may think that when you hear the white knight, that is somewhat of a savior, someone that comes in on the white horse and casts your cares away, most of the time, onto them. But as we delve in deeper, we will see that this is a stark contrast. So let's take off the mask of the white knight. We're going to begin with a short clip and get into the white knight. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you.
It is not a genuine thing, and in fact, the call may be coming from inside the house. To give an example of this, when I started dating my abusive ex-fiance, he would make this big, performative, grand gesture about wanting to walk my dog for me late at night because he said it wasn't safe for me. And it did register as off when he was doing this, because I wanted to be like, well, what did you think I did before I started dating you? I'm an adult and I've lived in this city for several years, and I think I know how to walk my dog at night without putting myself at risk. But I took the help, and now it makes my stomach turn thinking about it, because I now know that when he was doing this, less than 3.5 months before this was his last violent assault with his ex-girlfriend. So he's making this big show about protecting me and keeping me safe. And meanwhile, the danger was coming from him. Narcissists and other manipulators do this as an overcompensation. They are lying to themselves and to everyone.
Wow. So that is courtesy of Marie on TikTok. I'll make sure that all of the information as to my sources are in the description of the video. I've read many, many stories of people who talk about those who shower you with the illusion of protecting and I'll take care of you, when, as she just described for you, it was a mask, an illusion, the overcompensation of hiding his true self. Ladies and gentlemen, and those that may just stop by, again, always make sure, strongly encourage you to ensure your safety. We have had an influx of DV cases. Oftentimes we can be with someone for years and really not know everything, because people, unfortunately, hide behind the mask. Let's listen to another example.
Rescuer or savior, offering help, guidance, or protection, often unsolicited, to gain control, influence, or admiration. The effect is dependency and blurred autonomy, making you feel obligated to. This works because the nervous system responds to assistance and relief. When someone appears to save you, your brain relaxes and compliance rises, even if the help comes with strings attached. In a partnership example, it looks like they consistently offer to fix problems for you, make decisions on your behalf, or highlight your perceived weaknesses while positioning themselves as indispensable. You feel grateful but increasingly reliant, and your agency diminishes. In other relational examples, it looks like a colleague or mentor steps in to help repeatedly, framing themselves as essential. A friend or family member takes over tasks or decision under the guise of support, subtly reinforcing obligation and dependence.
Again, in my previous videos, I've spoken about two prominent words: control. These manipulators, these narcissists, they seek control and power over their subject or victim. Now let's get into a little bit more of the White Knight. Again, many of these narcissists disguise themselves and hide behind a mask. There are many resources out there, including what I referred to in this series, Psychology Today, as well as others. So what is White Knight and the dynamic of the White Knight manipulation? It often refers to a psychological phenomenon. Again, a psychological phenomenon where someone adopts. And I want to make sure that you understand it's where the narcissist, the manipulator, they use many different tactics in their arsenal to, number one, seek out. And then if they achieve what it is they seek, which is power and the control, they continue to use this. So they adopt this righteous and heroic. Again, we'll come back to that. Righteous and heroic. That's where the White Knight comes in. Persona. The persona to gain influence or control over others. Again, many of these manipulators, these narcissists, they need that supply. Again, the persona, thus the mask that you see on the screen for those that are viewing. For those of you that may catch the replay, you'll see that as an illustration. But to gain influence or control over individuals or maybe a group of people. These individuals often exploit others by using chivalry and appearing to come to the aid to others. Again, as I mentioned, coming in, riding in on a white horse, or being that knight in shining armor. Oftentimes, people look at white, the color white, or anything dealing with white or brightness as pure, as safe. But in this particular dynamic, it is far from pure and far from safe. And the intention is to actually benefit themselves. White knight manipulators may introduce their illusion in the very beginning with the persona of being a hero, an advocate, sometimes, or maybe even an activist for those who may feel oppressed or victims. Also, defending the weak or fighting against injustice. We see and hear many of these stories. Now, their true intentions oftentimes fall in the area of seeking validation, power, or personal gain. So I'm going to put up a quick list that substantiates. Again, I would always implore you to do your research. This is just a reference tool, not to take place of professional advice. Understanding the perspective of others. They want to alleviate the suffering of others, the forgiveness, and also redemption. Building stronger connections and inspiring change. Those are things to look out for. Those are signs that you might be dealing with this next topic under the psychology of manipulation, the white knight. I'm going to listen to another clip.
How can they acknowledge your feelings when they avoid their own? How can they communicate their thoughts and desires with you when they're not even aware of it themselves? It's easy to fall for people who haven't even met themselves, then expect them to meet our wants. Expect them to guide your hand through the depths of emotional seas when they haven't dipped their toe past surface level. You're disappointed, but then you think you can fix them. You bargain and therapize and think if you just say the right things in the right order, then maybe, just maybe, they can be convinced to lift the rug they swept all their feelings under. You completely forget that you were interested in being their lover, not their therapist. That they're your crush, not your patient, not the younger you that you wished you could have saved earlier. Because that's what it became about, right? When they spoke in avoidant behaviors, it's like you heard your native tongue in a foreign country. But you can't save them. You can't heal them. The most you can do is plant the seed, then walk away with the hope that it gets watered.
That's absolutely powerful. We're going to go into a little bit more of a discussion of the white knight. Again, keep in mind, they often seek validation, power, control, all of the things that we've mentioned before in previous videos. It is very important to understand this type of behavior because it could, again, according to many types of research, it can often spawn behavior that may have profound effects. Now, deeper dives. How can a white knight manipulation be used? Again, we saw some of the examples here. Signs to look for. But how can these be used? One relationship manipulator, one dynamic is to imagine a person who consistently consider themselves as their lifeline of support to their partner, romantic partner, claiming to be that ideal partner. They oftentimes may shower you with compliments and fulfill their every need, their every desire, and create an environment of dependency. But alas, beneath that mask is a facade of that feeling of care that they may present to you. And by doing this comes the subtle manipulation. That, again, is the dynamic, the arsenal which you've heard me speak of, to maintain that power and control over the relationship. Again, these are in the arsenal of the manipulator, the narcissist. This form of manipulation oftentimes leads to an imbalanced power dynamic. Again, we hear the word power, and you're going to hear the words power and control throughout this series. And it can often leave the victim or subject feeling like they're in a corner, trapped, perhaps feeling drained and powerless. You find these individuals who project this heroic persona in many settings, including the workplace, sometimes in work groups, perhaps in educational settings where they may exploit their helpful, if you will, nature, their nurturing nature to gain favor with colleagues. Oftentimes, these white knights, they will go out of their way to offer assistance. And it's not your normal tactic, the normal form of helping someone, the Good Samaritan. No, it goes a lot deeper. They want to take credit for the accomplishments of others by exploiting, by utilizing their behavior, their deeds, if you will, to catapult themselves to the upper echelon in the corporate world. Again, these white knights who utilize this heroic persona can appear in a professional setting and in a relationship dynamic. This behavior oftentimes, according to studies, can undermine the dynamic of teamwork. Now, for many of you all, that have worked in private or federal government sector, you are familiar or should be familiar with performance appraisals. And in the performance appraisal, one of the things on the top is teamwork, your ability to work as a team player, along with communication skills, professionalism, and just knowledge of your position. But teamwork has always been a part of a performance appraisal. So keep that in mind when you're paying attention to the dynamic of this late night in the workplace. Oftentimes there are those that secretly envy and want to be in the place that you are in. So if they can successfully achieve this manipulation tactic, the white knight, they may indeed be in the place that you're in. Oftentimes, this behavior in the workplace can foster resentment and cause a hiccup in teamwork. Trust barriers oftentimes can be broken. Now, oftentimes, these white knights, and this is very interesting, may utilize social media platforms in which acts, again, thus the mask that you see, the masquerade, the illusion of being a champion, a hero of causes. Again, we'll go back to advocates and activists, or individuals who constantly seek recognition for these deeds, for these acts, these white knight heroic acts. And the big word here, validation from those who follow them, who listen to them, who believe in them. These type of manipulators, these types of narcissists, they feed off of this energy from those who provide them this validation in which they seek. They may oftentimes, and this is very important because if you paid attention to some of the major headlines on social media and those with whom report, may oftentimes exploit sensitive topics, sensitive stories, oftentimes tragic stories or news. Again, pay attention to that. For their own personal gain. Now, while it's good to show that you are a voice for the voiceless, not everything, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, is for social media consumption. To bring light on something, absolutely, but there's also something called saturation, and it makes one wonder, are you really for the justice of people? Or is it for personal or perhaps monetary gain? Justice is more than just talking about a situation. Do you donate to think tanks? Are you a part of think tanks? Do you support those that may be in unhealthy relationships? Do you have a group? Again, do you set up campaigns to help those who may want to get out? Or do you have platforms available where they can come? Or at least do you provide 800 numbers for resources? Do you encourage those who may seek assistance with the emphasis on ensuring that they and or family members are safe? Do these individuals seem as though they care more about amassing a following, perhaps highlighting products, merch, or pumping their own selves up, boosting, if you will, their own image? This type of manipulation, according to many studies, again, Psychology Today is a very helpful resource, can often harm genuine activism and dilute the impact of important social issues. Perfect example, the Ashley Gonzalez case. There are many activists that shared their feelings about the rant this woman went on, and then there are many who took a video which was not an apology video, and even though they were told this was not the same person, I mean, honestly, in my opinion, it was hard for me to believe that people could not see that these women were two different women. But a lot of people, instead, they listened to people that they followed and inserted their own hateful feelings. You have to be careful with this type of manipulation tactic, because they come in all forms and from people you might least suspect. Again, that's just an overview of the White Knight. For those of you that may be in that situation and you seek help, resources are available, but again, I encourage you strongly to ensure that you are always safe. So let's do a quick overview.
Abuser. It is not a genuine thing, and in fact, the call may be coming from inside the house. To give an example of this, when I started dating my abusive ex-fiance, he would make this big performative grand gesture about wanting to walk my dog for me late at night because he said it wasn't safe for me. And it did register as off when he was doing this, because I wanted to be like, well, what did you think I did before I started dating you? I'm an adult and I've lived in this city for several years, and I think I know how to walk my dog at night without putting myself at risk. But I took the help, and now it makes my stomach turn thinking about it, because I now know that When he was doing this, less than 3.5 months before this was his last violent assault with his ex-girlfriend. So he's making this big show about protecting me and keeping me safe. And meanwhile, the danger was coming from him. Narcissists and other manipulators do this as an overcompensation. They are lying to themselves and to everyone user. It is not a genuine thing. And in fact, the call may be coming from inside the house. To give an example of this, when I started dating my abusive ex-fiance, he would make
The White Knight. Just another part of manipulation and the narcissist. Next, we're going to look at the silent treatment. The silent treatment. Thank you so much for tuning in to the latest topic, which was the White Knight. And remember, this video series is for educational purposes only. Again, educational purposes only, and should not be construed as a substitute for professional advice. For I am not, I repeat, I am not a member of the medical profession. Again, if you'd be so kind and you enjoy this series or any of the videos, please consider dropping a like. If you are new here and you enjoy this series, please consider subscribing. And all comments are welcome. I appreciate each and every one of you. Again, keep in mind what we've covered thus far in the psychology of manipulation. We covered that. We've covered gaslighting. And all of these videos are on my archives. Love bombing. Guilt tripping. Triangulation. And finally, the White Knight. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Until next video, please be safe, be well, and be healthier. Bye-bye for now.